Okay, let's get ready, guys. Ready on one?
There are people who want to take you places you only imagined you could go. And they take you there with IMAX, the ultimate film experience. IMAX is, quite simply, the finest motion picture system that exists. The unique projection technology and large film frame create images of unsurpassed sharpness and clarity. 6-channel sound surrounds you in specially designed theaters with screens up to 8 stories high.
If you're looking at an ordinary film or television, this is basically the way you see the world. When you go to IMAX, this is what happens. You see everything, and the psychological impact is obviously a million times stronger.
Race the wind. Feel the heat. Meet the legend. Larger than live. IMAX.
For 1,000 years, the sea has opened its arms to embrace the grandest of human inventions. Galleons, clippers, schooners, battleships, and liners lie scattered by the tens of thousands across the oceans of the world. Through storm and battle, they arrive unexpected from the surface above to briefly decorate the rocks and mud below. For a while, they are remembered by widows and orphans in private anguish. Then all too quickly, they dissolve from memory into silt and sediment. But there is one ship that still cries out to us from the cold, black, and distant abyss. She waits for us, almost beyond reach. Bound from the port of Kaliningrad is the world's largest and best-equipped deep ocean research vessel, the academic Keldysh. In command of this expedition is Russian oceanographer Dr. Anatoly Sagalevich.
Самый лучший букет выбирайте, но любые цветы хороши. Нежный запах чарующей розы, васильков и ромашек букет, и холодные гроздья мимозы, и подснежник теплый.
This is my ship, the academic Mstislav Keldysh. 6,000 tons is the largest research ship in the world. For this expedition, I have assembled some of the best deep ocean explorers, Russian pilots, technicians, sailors, and international scientists. We have most advanced and deepest submarines in the world. They are capable to dive 20,000 feet. And fantastic new American lights we test for the first time. I invited my very old friend, National Geographic photographer, Emery Christoph.
Balls of fire. It's a kind of a portable sun. It floats 75 feet above the sub, and it's 2,000 times more powerful than an instamatic flash. Let's put some balls on this puppy. Well, I don't know. This thing goes off over the Titanic. It's like the home foredeck, but a millionth of a second later, the Titanic may disappear.
And the glass ball will have turned to powder due to an implosion.
As long as we get the camera back. We got the camera packed in steel. That should last.
Yeah.
We have also best Russian scientists, like Lev Moskalyov, zoologist. We call him Big Lev.
I don't hope to see rare animal. We have the possibility to see the animals, not only the Titanic wreck and exactly on the body of Titanic, but compare the quantitative distribution of animals on Titanic wreck and around on the mud and sand. This was very interesting and unusual.
And I'm very afraid of water at nighttime. And as a youngster, when I would jump in the water, I would say, abandon ship and jump into the water.
Yeah.
And in the 8th grade, we did a skit about the Titanic for this 8th grade class. Yeah. And I played the captain. Yeah. So there has been thoughts that I, in my previous life, was the captain of the Titanic.
Because you had a...
We have other special guests, like official Titanic historian from California. Charlie Sachs is really crazy gypsy guy. He is thinking he is Titanic Captain Smith.
And he had handed up a baby to the lifeboat. Mm-hmm. And when he then turned and swam back to the ship, and when they touched him, he turned around and looked back, and they swear that this was the captain. And he said, "Come on," and he said, "No," and he said, "I'm going back to the ship," and he swam back to the ship.
But most important man on expedition is Rolf White. He is ex-Green Beret, Los Angeles policeman, and gun collector. Dangerous guy. He's only guy on Keldysh who knows exact location of Titanic. I hope.
Make it 165 miles, 15 hours. Should get there about 3:30 in the morning on station.
And Rolf, I assure you that the wreck exactly here.
Yes.
How do you know that?
1985, when we found the Titanic, before all the charts got pulled off the table and they taped everything up, I saw the position marked upside down across the table, and I memorized it. I put it in my little GPS, and that's interlocked with the Keldyshes, so it's there.
And now you have just very exact coordinates, yeah?
Right, and it lays at about this angle on the chart. You have a current that's coming down. Some of your seismic people wanted to run a parallel for the side scan, and I think we ought to come across the T, 90 degrees to the wreck, and that way, if we're too far north or too far south or right in the middle, we'll get it on one side of the side scan or the other.
The expedition is looking for what was once the largest moving object built by human hands. Before construction of the Titanic could begin, new slipways with towering gantries had to be erected in the shipyards of Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. By 1910, 17,000 highly skilled engineers, craftsmen, carpenters, artists, and steelworkers were employed and working at the very leading edge of the Industrial Revolution. The Titanic was technologically the most ambitious project then underway anywhere in the world. It was, in effect, the space shuttle of the early 20th century. A local newspaper commented that everything about the ship was on a nightmarish scale. "29 boilers, fired by 159 coal furnaces, generated steam to power the ship's engines. The wing propellers were driven by two 4-story high reciprocating steam engines. The exhaust steam was then passed to a single giant turbine, which drove the central propeller. Together, the engines could generate a then astounding 50,000 horsepower. In the North Atlantic, 400 miles southeast of Newfoundland, the academic Keldysh nears the Titanic's site. The 50 scientists on board are anxious to begin their work even before the submersibles can be made ready. One of them is Steve Blasko, a marine geologist from the Bedford Institute in Nova Scotia.
Maybe too quite enough. Put on. Put on. Quite enough for safety.
I think we need 4 weights.
No discussion.
We put 4 weights on for penetration to get into the seafloor to get longer core.
This is so bad for safety of winch.
No, I think winch is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the usual conflict between geologist and deck crew. Geologist trying to weight up his core so we get maximum penetration in the bottom. On the other hand, the deck crew concerned about safety and cables and winches. In this case, very concerned about the cable strength and its ability to pull and carry the weight of the core plus the mud.
Deeper in the bottom to get longer core, to look back 2 million years, not just look into 1 million years.
The oceans cover 70% of the Earth's surface, and yet we only know about 2% of what there is to be learned. The Titanic's interaction with the environment will tell us about biologic activity, sediment transport processes, sediment origin and history on the bottom, corrosion rates and whatnot. In effect, Titanic is a kind of time machine by which scientists can look at changes in an environment that we know very little about.
The Titanic was to be 883 feet long, 93 feet wide, and 11 stories high. Suspended from scaffolds and gantries were newly invented hydraulic riveting machines used to drive some 3 million button-headed rivets into plates, girders, beams, and brackets. The intention was to build a ship as strong as it was large, with a double floor and 15 bulkheads, each independently watertight. It was genuinely felt at the time that a ship could be built so strong as to be virtually unsinkable. As the ship's hull neared completion, workers began to report mysterious hammering sounds beneath the sealed plates of the double floor. Many believed that because of the rapid pace of construction, a man had accidentally been entombed somewhere inside the ship. It had happened before on other contracts, and to the ship workers, it was the worst possible omen.
Titanic lays facing slightly to the northeast. It's in two sections, bow and stern. Got about 600 meters in between. Debris field comes out like this. Area of the coal patch, which is the lighter stuff, is over here. Most of the items in here are just coal and old broken plates. Your heavy items like boilers are found to the southeast of the stern section. Your biggest obstacle in traversing the debris field or the bow to the stern or vice versa is going to be right about here. You have a 5 to 7 deck high bulkhead. It doesn't show up on sonar very well. Pilots, this is the biggest hazard you have, so watch that transiting from either the bow to the stern or the stern to the bow.
Four transponders are dropped to the distant seafloor, where they will form an electronic grid 2 miles square surrounding the wreck site. With these, they hope to build a detailed map of the debris field and the two main sections of the Titanic.
Я желаю всем удачи на Титанике. I hope we'll find it. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. I think we will. This flag that once flew on the North Atlantic now returns over the site of this great ship.
Keldysh is the only ship in the world equipped with 2 deep ocean submarines. They plan 17 dives to the Titanic in what will be one of the most ambitious scientific expeditions ever attempted.
Привет, welcome aboard. What's the bag here?
Экипаж приветствует командира.
Thank you.
Okay, we're out. Got it. Okay, Anatoly, get the bags down here.
This is my favorite time of expedition. Weather is fine, subs are in good shape, and all of us are still friends. Все нормально, готовы к погружению.
Calling the side scan sonar, and when that gives us the profile of the Titanic, then you can set up your dive ops.
Well, and one way this is going to help us is out there when we're doing the submarine launches, you're going to be able to take this out in a small boat and pinpoint the drops.
Right.
And with the drifts and all, this is going to be wonderful. We've never had that ability.
This will give us the drop points very accurately. It'll be a good, interesting...
Biggest danger in submersible is high oxygen level and possibility of flash fires. So, we wear special nomic suits. I think maybe they keep us alive extra 5 seconds.
Pumping seawater into their ballast tanks, the submersibles begin a 2.5-hour descent to the seafloor, 12,500 feet beneath the Keldysh.
Academic Keldysh, this is Mir 1. We're blowing and going.
Within 1,000 feet of the surface, all traces of sunlight will disappear. The near-freezing salt water, perpetual blackness, and unimaginable pressure below remain a challenge even for these submersibles of the late 20th century. Eva Hart once taught Sunday school piano. She was a professional singer, a justice of the peace, and 80 years ago, she was on the maiden voyage of the Titanic, along with her father and mother.
Well, I was only 7 at the time of this proposed journey to Canada, but the moment my mother learned of it, she had this fearsome premonition of danger. I don't think it was a specific thing about the Titanic in the beginning. She just had this terrible premonition that something terrible was going to happen. And it was when she realized that it was the Titanic, the ship we were going in, then it dawned on her that she considered that to claim this ship was unsinkable, which the world was doing at that time, was, in her opinion, flying in the face of the Almighty.
Academic Keldysh, Mir 1, passing 1,000 meters.
Throughout the descent, lighting booms are kept open and away from the pressure hulls of the subs. The greatest danger is around 8,000 feet, where the implosion of a single light bulb could destroy a submersible.
Anybody want to play some cards?
Okay. We'll play for your dive pay and your submarines. And my bonus from the geographic. Cut 'em, baby.
Okay. Give me one.
I'll stand with what I got.
Got it.
Okay. I got your
So
dive
much
pay
for the
first
aces on
time.
the deck.
I got, yeah, so much for
Here's
the aces.
Gypsy Guy, you know.
Here's Gypsy Guy.
Gypsy Guy.
As the water pressure increases to an extraordinary 6,000 pounds per square inch, the slightest leak in a sub would produce a razor-sharp jet of water powerful enough to slice a human body in half.
Hey, you guys, we haven't got all day for this. Whose move is it? Who's next?
Lev.
Oh, Lev.
I wait a little. Steve, many years ago I teach schoolboys and told about different types of animals.
Yeah.
And my aim was that schoolboys not forget this animal never.
Yeah.
And I show the animals to schoolboys. For example, Pole kids are shown by such manner. Ooh. The rotatoria from freshwater. I show such.
That's how they eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Cirripedia, barnacles and lepodidae, we have seen here in our dive. I told him about different feeding of brittle stars and show the breathing giddy. We also have seen them in the current. And I told them about the monkeys, about chimpanzee, about mimics of this animal. And after many years, they told me that never forgot these animals, and I'm happy now about
I understand that. I like that. Hey, Lev, now you tell us how the animals meet.
Yes?
You know how the animals meet? You show that too?
I never tell about this.
Oh, you never tell about that?
Never.
Oh. Getting close. Yeah. Take a look out. Take a look out. You should be setting the lights on. Boy, there is nothing there. Okay.
Give me two of the lights, two of the big lights.
Okay, let's
shut down the quartz.
Yeah, shut down the quartz on it.
Okay. Give me two HMIs.
Keldysh, we are on the bottom and start to move in north direction. I think that we are in the south. Over.
Келдыш, я Мир-1. Продолжаем поиски Титаника,
Let me get out of these dunes.
Dunes. Уточните координаты. Поиски продолжаются уже 6 часов. Как поняли, прием?
Nothing on the sonar.
No, I'm looking over there. A very quiet afternoon at the beach, and there certainly is a lot of beach down here.
Right up. Might be getting some coals, some small coals in.
Oh, that looks like whale droppings to me. I don't see anything over there on the... Oh,
Там еще надо полкилометра где-то пройти.
See any debris at all or any sign of the ship?
Сколько по времени это?
See anything left?
Минут 15. I suppose Женя told that it's near 15 minutes.
15. Seems we've been here for hours. I haven't seen anything yet. At least the temperature's cooling down a bit.
Give me my boots and saddle.
I mean, this is a whole bloody dive. I mean, how can you lose something as large as the Titanic?
We have drifted south. Okay, if we want to, let's turn back to the north and kind of do a zigzag heading north, because we have to be either to the west, and we're traveling east, so if we're traveling east and we haven't hit
the whole coal patch, Ralph?
Hey, it's very simple. If we're south,
I guess.
and we're certainly not north, we're south.
I guess that we
I
are
like the
just
plot from the surface. Come on, guys. Call up there and get that.
And we must go southeast something.
The toughest part of the whole mission is being squashed into that tiny sub for 25 hours at a time. Everybody has to find their own way of dealing with it.
Лев, ты трясешь аппарат. Возможно вести.
Do you know what Женя told?
No, what do you think?
That small left shaking this big ship.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah.
Possible to drive sub.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're gonna hang on.
The Titanic dumped 5,000 tons of coal when it broke apart at the surface. It's almost always the first sign that a wreck is nearby. Lumps of coal everywhere.
Okay, we're starting to get it on the starboard side. Okay. A little coal over here.
And head directly into the
piece of iron.
concentration.
You see. Piece of iron. Look.
Very good. Let's
Okay.
First pictures.
This stuff must have rained down for hours after the ship hit the bottom, like a small city exploding over your head. Over there on the left are the remains of a bronze end piece for a deck bench. Those are probably third-class or crew bed springs we're passing over. Some of the objects that we're discovering out here would take an engineer from Harland and Wolff to identify.
I am going
200 meters.
Very slowly.
200 meters. 200 meters.
Well, I tell you right now, what you've got out here, I mean, I can really make some pictures of that.
You see some sediments. You see.
Okay,
It's rising,
all right,
rising.
there's some of the metal. Oh, come left, Anatoly, come left. We got an engine. I think we got an engine telegraph.
Okay, bring it up just a tiny bit.
Trimming half.
Just a bit, good.
I turn a little bit left. Is it okay?
I like it really much. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna fire video.
Yeah, you guys are doing good. This is a
Move a little
beautiful
forward.
telegraph.
Move a little bit forward.
Video on.
Is it okay?
It's a beautiful telegram.
Oh.
Video's on.
It says all stop.
Yeah.
Dude, you think that
Yeah, all the telegraphs we found, the command from the bridge was all stop, and the return from the engine room was slow ahead.
Emily, is that okay for you?
It's looking good. Yeah, you're bringing it around so I can see more of the face.
One of the mysteries from the Titanic were the settings on the engine telegraphs. The command from the bridge was all stop.
The return from the engine room indicated slow ahead. The third-class toilets on the Titanic were made of iron. Like this one, the second class were made of porcelain. First class was, of course, marble.
Mir 2, we are in the debris field. We have debris.
Все больше и больше хороших зверей. Здесь цирипедии идут. Слушай. Подожди. Смотри. Here's typical detritus feeders, and take the place where the current take the sediment and feeding in this place.
It's hard to tell exactly what that. It's a piece of plating or a bulkhead. God, look at those columns.
Yes, in water column and feeding in water column.
See, as we move upward, I can see rivets. Definitely rivets. This is probably a part of the hull plating. You can see the overlap. Definitely hull plating. This is not a bulkhead.
You may see here two species of this animal and very interesting manner of feeding. This animal has fury and filtering the water. You may see such manner every time. Yes, and
neat.
Very typical.
Oh, look, there's a crab. Look at that little crab there sitting there munching away on the sediment.
Yes,
this is my sediment of all things.
No,
jeez, look at it.
Of course, it's eaten your sediment.
And no color.
No.
Color.
Here's no color,
No
and
color.
very typical for this exhibition.
There's a fish coming into the scene.
Yes.
And it's, I see a fish.
Женька, посмотри. This is macrorid fish, red tail, and giant, near 1 meter of long.
Is it all white?
Pretty specimen, excellent.
Is it white or albino? You look
Yes,
like an albino.
white and very big eyes. And it's slowly moving. You're here. Right. Ты видишь его?
The Titanic's manifest listed over 18,000 bottles of wine, liquor, and champagne. You'll notice the bottles still have corks in them, even though they've been pushed in by the sea pressure. When the Titanic broke apart, a lot of the galley equipment landed in this area of the debris field. We call it Hell's Kitchen.
Going to now.
Just keep going forward. We're right near in the area where we found the black bag in '87.
Get the black bags around.
I see black bags there. You know.
No, that one over there is luggage. Come a little to the right. A little to the right.
Okay, let's go to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see other one.
We can't take them, Ralph.
I see
What are
other
you going to do with them?
I just want to confirm they're there. I mean, that's the best scenario we have, is that stuff all came out of the safe, went in the black bag. Sure, we should take it.
Is it proper bags?
Yeah. Move down and settle on the bottom near that one.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
gonna activate the arm.
I stop the vehicle.
I'll show you what condition this is in after 79 years. Look at how well it holds together. Watch this. Look at it. That bag is just in almost as perfect shape as the day it was put on the ship.
I think our contract doesn't allow us to do this, Ralph.
Okay, what about if the ship's log or the Rubaiyat's in there?
It'd be wonderful, but...
okay.
Ralph, we have scientific mission.
This will only take 10 minutes. Let's just see what...
We shouldn't take anything, you know.
Let's don't take anything, but let's see if
No,
the
no,
ship's
no,
log or the Rubaiyat may be in the bag.
I don't like any scandal, you know. I'm sorry about it.
No scandals.
I'm responsible for that.
If it stays on the bottom, it's not a scandal. But if it is the ship's log, a lot of questions could be answered.
Yeah, but if we try to take it right now with it, we'll just ruin the bag, and we might rip
wish.
the Rubaiyat. Mark it. We'll come back later, Ralph. I mean,
if you
save
wish,
it for later.
You just can touch, but not take. That's it.
Okay, let's just take a look out there and see if that's one of the back bags to begin with.
Just touch if you wish.
Gonna kind of feel it a little bit.
All right, now let me see if I can get the top to pry open and see what's inside this bag.
No, Rolf, I don't think so. You should open this bag because it's not yours, you know. It belongs to some other people.
It's right here. It's in the arm.
Put it down gently. Put it down gently.
Put it down.
Give me.
Put it on the bottom.
Okay. Okay. Now I think. Okay. Now it's okay.
I've never seen a big ship before. And really, as you looked along the side of it, you simply couldn't see the end of it. It was so long. And I was quite fascinated by that. And then we went aboard. And there was I, gazing with wonder at this marvelous ship. And my father so excited. And we went up in the lift onto the boat deck, and my mother said to my father, well, now I know why I'm so frightened. Because that is the ship they are claiming is unsinkable. And my father put his arm around her and said, no, my dear, that's the ship that is unsinkable.
The Titanic sailed from Southampton April 10th, 1912. Built to cross the Atlantic 1,000 times, she would not complete a single voyage.
At least one crew member must stay awake at all times to monitor oxygen and CO2. If everyone has a little nap, we may end up sleeping forever.
Keldish. This is Mir 1030. Report 219er3 and ascending. ETA about an hour and a half to surface. Out.
During the dive, time is flying by very fast. 20 hours on the bottom is like 20 minutes. But when you get to the surface, 20 minutes can seem like 20 years.
that? You like that?
Beautiful.
Isn't that great? This is authentic. This is from the movie Raise the Titanic. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
And we're raising pictures from it now.
I don't know why we're cheering. At 15 hours,
Здравствуйте, дачники! Здравствуйте, дачницы! Летние маневры уже начались!
Hey, Anatoly, how about one of those big cannonballs? Let's hit this pool right.
Бабушки, игрушки, пистолеты, Новый год и елка в серебре. Не грусти, улыбнись, в те годы свои детские вернись. Сбрось тяжесть, полетай и помечтай.
This is very unusual expedition for all of us, because it brings together many different characters and creates some very strange friendships.
A life jacket that I got from юности немножко.
This is the only one that was soft, so that when you travel with it, you can use it as a pillow. Try that out.
May I test?
Yeah, sure. Doesn't it look great? Got it? You got it?
Oh, very pleasant.
Hey, that's nice. See, it's nice and cushy, so you can travel in a submersible, use that as a pillow. Isn't that fun? And I collect postcards, seasick postcards, and people would send them to their friends before the ship would sail and say, is this going to be you? And I've got over 200 of them. Here, take a look.
Charlie, I never think that possible to collect such material. Rarest, wonderful collection.
And they mail them to them and say, is this going to be you? Hey. Take a look. I mean, they're great fun. Great fun.
Oh, Charlie, you have rarest collection. This is pretty jokes here. Real sailors' jokes.
And then in the 1880s, when they had tobacco cards, this is before there were baseball cards, they had a set of ship captains. And there were 25 in the set. There's only 6 sets in existence, and here's one of the sets. And Captain Smith served under some of those officers. So they're really rare. And of course, the rarest of all is a piece of carpet from the Titanic. And this was taken off the ship by a steward, F. Dent Ray, when the ship went on its trials. And in an auction years ago, 3 threads of it went for $3,000.
This is really from Titanic?
Yes, it is. Some things that you can find is china from the Titanic.
Yes.
Or made for the White Star ships. This is first-class china and a mug. You saw this kind of mug on the bottom, didn't you?
Yes, I have seen the same picture on the cup on the bottom.
Right.
May I take in my fingers?
Sure, you got it. And then, if you like, would you like some tea?
Yes, I should be glad.
And I will
should be glad to drink tea from such cup.
That's great. So we'll have tea for 2 from the White Star mugs. I've been trying to get this uniform just right all these years, but you know, it's almost impossible to find White Star buttons and a cap badge that you'd have on here. I mean, I've never been able to find one. It's taken 20 years, but someday the uniform will be just perfect. Then I can be just like Captain Smith.
The first dive is a qualified success, as they have found only the debris field. The 2 main sections of the Titanic itself lie somewhere nearby, 2.5 miles beneath the Keldysh. The submersible batteries must be charged for 24 hours at a time. Everyone on board is well aware that the North Atlantic is the roughest ocean on Earth, and the expedition might end at any moment.
Все в порядке, обороты есть. Проверим поворот насадки.
The first 2 dives were especially difficult time for us. We couldn't find the main parts of the wreck, and many people we're starting to think. Rolf stole coordinates of Bismarck, not Titanic.
I want to stay on it. I mean, you don't kiss it off once you get there.
Okay, fine. Then you take one boat, stay there, do your single pictures.
And I'll go where I want with it.
Okay, fine, but I got to get some people some experience, and we got to get some of these other areas plotted.
Yeah, but there's a scientific component that's got to be integrated in here too, and we've got to pick up. We're particularly interested in the debris field, and we'd like to pick up some core material and some biologic samples.
You get out in
there.
that debris field without knowing where the other things are, and you may be out there with not even knowing where you are when
All I
you pick
need,
up
Ralph,
your
is 2
samples.
cores, that long, just 2 short cores from those subs, and that'll do it.
Okay, we got to get from here to here or here, primarily to there for the principal photography.
We got 2
and that's
subs
where
out
the
there.
gold
Let
is.
me stay in one place, and you go out and make the run around the park. What I care about are the pictures. I tell you, running around out there in the sandbox is really just not going to do it for me. I will trade that for the pictures.
Ralph, and my own dream to have the full list of animals from this region. It's necessary. It's necessary.
There's always conflict with the scientist on expedition. But I must agree with Rolf. Science is necessary, but more important, to find and map Titanic first.
Оставайтесь, мы поехали!
When I was a small boy, I dreamed of being a great explorer, like Jules Verne, Captain Nemo. And now, after thousands of dives, I still feel like a boy, always hoping for new discoveries.
A little fly in my eye. What are you doing, Cherry? Oh, what a good little doggy. I'll take you in a minute, yes. Good little dog. Look, isn't that a lovely flower for a I met a French bulldog in the Titanic when I was very young, and I thought it was the most beautiful little dog. It had such a sweet little face. And this is the same breed of dog, French bulldog. And I've always been very fond of them because I remember with sadness and yet pleasure the fun I had with that little dog in the Titanic. I don't really remember a lot of people. There must have been people milling about. They were ghostly figures in my memory. I don't really remember very much about them. But as a child, in my little world, it was my mother, my father, this lovely little dog that I love so much. And of course, no one saw the poor little thing after the ship went.
Okay, only sediments, nothing else, you know.
Anatoly.
Yeah.
A little rushed out here. Look, I think we got a river.
Where?
Okay, it's out here, starboard side. Come on to the right.
I don't.
Oh, you got it, Anatoly.
Okay,
You
that's
got
all
it.
right. Look here.
Okay,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that, okay, it's out
Okay.
Not much is known about the phenomenon of the rust rivers, except that it is the byproduct of bacteria eating away at the iron and slowly dissolving the ship. It is here on the decks of the stern section where most of the 1,500 victims stood clinging to the railings, waiting for the ship to slide into the icy black water. Breaking into two pieces, the bow and stern sections accelerated to 50 kilometers an hour before exploding into the ocean floor. Hundreds of bodies would have once laid amongst the wreckage, though after several years, even the bones would have dissolved in the calcium-deficient salt water.
Okay, we're drifting, guys, just a little bit.
Okay,
We got a little.
Trim it out, Henry?
Please trim it a little bit. It's getting out of the
trimming out.
Yes.
That looks like a
I
big
think
chunk
maybe
of...
it's
What a mess. I don't recognize
maybe it's
anything.
there.
Slowly and
Yeah,
attention.
I agree.
Slowly and attention.
I don't even know what we're looking
Maybe-
at.
Делай как ты
maybe
считаешь.
again.
More slowly, because this is dangerous place.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. Jesus, big. It sits out there. I mean, just
Look at the imager.
I'm looking up there on that.
After I got my bearings, we located the starboard propeller. Then we decided to take a chance and work our way inside the engine room.
Mir 2, this is Mir 1. Hey, Belasco, if you could pick up our lights and move over to us, we're on a piece of big steel piping here about the size and look of the Holland Tunnel. It's right near the engine room on the stern. I'm going to try and navigate out of here and over to the engine room so everybody should get some shots of the big reciprocating engine.
Exploring a shipwreck like the Titanic is probably the most dangerous thing any of us have ever done. If we were to get entangled with a cable or have a piece of wreckage fall on us, the only thing we could do is sit there and wait to die. We would probably freeze to death in 3 days.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
base.
going to want
That's
some
the base.
pictures. I'm going to want
Okay.
some pictures on that.
Okay, that's the base.
That is really going to look good. Okay, let's one on the base, real
Okay.
fast on that.
Okay, I'm going to hold and then we'll start climbing up.
Okay.
Up there. Start climbing up.
System rolls.
Okay, this is about midway.
Yeah.
All right. God, you got a lot of
Starboard
stuff out
section.
here on the right.
Yeah,
Right, we
I
don't
know.
want to go Anatoly. We
Both
want to
sides,
stay.
Four, eight.
I'm not like you when I see out here.
This is one of the famous reciprocating steam engines. It's over 4 stories high, and its pistons are 8 feet across. They remain to this day the largest steam engines ever built. Right there you can clearly see where air was trapped and the water pressure blew a hole in the side of the engine cylinder.
what we have here. Oh.
Oh, wonderful.
Lucia,
A piece of brass. A piece of brass.
That isn't brass, Emery. That isn't brass. I'm going to sneak in a little bit. Let's get in.
Come on, Ralph. This is.
Take a look. Take a look. Out to the... Is that gold or is that gold?
Come on now, Ralph.
No,
It's a piece of brass.
No, that's gold. Brass would be a little bit more tainted. A little more tainted.
That comes off of a. No, come on. That's off of a candelabra.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What do you think?
Nope.
No, Ralph, I don't think you should do it, please, no. It's not belongs to you, This is the things of other people. Just put it down.
Okay, I'll put it on the bottom. Anatoly, you want to take this out of here? Anatoly?
You're going to give him the wheel. Well, yeah. Really great. You park us here, Ralph. I think we've got it caught over here.
I understand.
Okay.
Just a moment. Take it easy.
You got a green board. Green board.
Just a moment.
Green board. We're looking back. I don't see a penetrator leaking.
Oh, boy.
Okay, you got a little overhang. Got a little overhang.
Yeah, you got a lot of cable. You got a lot of cable out the
Back,
Vehicle doesn't move anymore. I think that we are stacking,
No, go down and back. Down and back.
This television's not telling you very much.
It takes some electric
cable. I don't
Take a look.
take a look. Take a look.
Down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back. Right back now.
I don't know. I got the feeling you're caught over here, some on the right.
Guys, just a moment. Yeah, okay.
Okay, you're clearing the overhang. You're clearing the overhang here.
Okay.
All right.
Mir 2, this is Mir 1. Steve, ask Gina to give us a look over.
Yeah, Ralph, looks like a lot of debris topside just above your head there. There's rust and bits of debris and wreckage on top of the sub. I don't know what you run into, but it looks to be the main point of contact.
Roger, copy that. We have debris and damage to the shell. We will proceed up and you will follow. Out.
These damages were made for a big man like Lev.
Yeah, and Blasco. Got Blasco know what to do with this.
It's tasty though.
Good pickle.
Yep. No, it's okay. Let's support is okay, no problem. Guys. Oxygen, everything all right.
Look, everyone says you guys started growing the bean sprouts in the engine room.
Just relax, that's it.
Подарите цветы, не стесняйтесь, это молодость вашей души. Самый лучший букет выбирайте, но любые цветы хороши. Нежный запах чарующей розы, васильков и ромашек букет. И холодные гроздья мимозы, и подснежника теплый привет. И холодные гроздья мимозы, и подснежника теплый привет.
Throughout the expedition, hundreds of specimens of fish and coral and samples of water, rock, and mud are collected from the regions surrounding the Titanic. Steve Blasco recovers one of 28 core samples from the sea floor.
Okay, shoot, Vladimir. Go, Vladimir.
Boy, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Geologist's dream. You know, the first thing you want to do is get a sample of that mud. You can hardly wait till you get a sample. You can almost taste it.
Push more. Whoa, stop. Whoa, stop. Stop.
Jeez, stop very fast. This stuff looks more like what we'd see from a large landslide, a major landslide having ripped down the valley. Can't believe it. It's really quite dense. That really explains to me why this Titanic didn't disappear. If this had been all very soft sediments, this whole particular Titanic would have disappeared 30, 40 meters into the sediment here. And because it's so stiff and dense, it accounts for the Titanic sitting on the surface. I mean, that ship weighed a ton when it went down. It's only punched in by 3 or 4 or 5 meters in the bottom. And these stiff sediments really account for that. I'm quite pleased with that.
For the scientist, each sample retrieved is so precious, it might as well have come from the far side of the moon.
But my love, my treasure, of course, the collections. And one of the most interesting specimens for me, this is very big Macrurus, red tail, but living on Titanic wreck. This has very strange form, very strange face, but this is real passengers of Titanic.
I've always wanted to light something with a daggone small atomic blast. I talked to a guy once who was in the atomics program with this, a thing that they were doing to try to fly to Mars. And we figured with God, it was like about a tactical nuke maybe, but it would just light the whole thing one time before the whole wreck disappeared.
Oh, you're nuts, Emery.
The scientists are fulfilling their obligations, but we have not yet been to the bow section of the wreck. And I have very personal wish, my dream, to sit on the bridge of Titanic. At this time, we have very bad news from our country almost every day. After 20 years of work in the deep ocean, I think it's possible this is to be our last expedition.
Что вы там делаете? Что вы там делаете? Берите нас быстрее. Ну что вы не видите, какая ситуация? How do you like this Russian roller coaster?
Get this thing in the water.
The rough seas have generated a strong 2-knot current. In order to compensate, the submersibles have been dropped some 3 miles up current of the Titanic. The Keldysh will return to its station above the wreck to help the descending subs with navigation.
I should tell you, not everyone of our crew is in favor of diving on Titanic. For instance, Yuri Tsarkov is a member of deck crew, ship's painter. He has special studio above engines, where he works on his own paintings and his own ideas.
Many years ago, I was in shipwreck and swept into sea during a storm. I was lost for 10, 12 hours before I was rescued, near death. I think to understand victims of Titanic, you need reach into your soul, into your heart, and feel compassion. It's not necessary to reach into the mud to understand tragedy.
Otherwise, it sure is dark out there.
Keldysh, Keldysh, я Mir 1, я Mir 1.
Oh, it's got to be close, Ralph.
80 meters.
7 feet.
80 meters.
80 meters.
Уточните координаты. Поиски продолжаются уже 6 часов. Как поняли, прием.
50.
Okay, we ought to be able to see it at about 30 meters.
Yeah, about 30.
40. 40. Oh, it should be there.
Should be out there.
Okay,
I'm picking up a shadow. Picking up a shadow.
Okay, it's got to be more out of. It's got to be more out of.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh boy, it's Titanic, you see. Rolf.
Port 1. Port 2.
Yes.
Got it coming in. Got it coming in. Boy, when this thing works, it works nice. Okay, we're coming up on the bow. Okay, I can make out the mast. Number 2 porthole, or hold. Number 3 hold. The bridge deck. Okay, we're coming just right down amidships, right amidships right now.
Это зрелище, Лев Иванович. Фантастика.
Ты мой.
Вы хорошо
боже
видите?
мой, отлично вижу.
Елки зеленые, сейчас коснемся.
Не, ты повнимательней. Повнимательней. Боже ты мой, наворочено.
We're traveling the same path along the starboard side that the iceberg took. The top of the berg would have been to our left, showering ice onto the deck of the Titanic. Survivors' accounts tell us that some of the passengers were picking up the ice and playing with it. Some even put it in their drinks. For many, it would be the last drink they ever had. We're coming up on the number 3 cargo hold. Deep down there is where the third-class passengers were. Those poor souls were trapped and never had a chance. There's the mast. It contained the crow's nest which the lookouts used to peer out into the night. The story goes, one of them even said he could smell icebergs. Unfortunately for the ship, they didn't see it in time. We're passing over the well deck, or the promenade area for the third-class passengers. On the night the ship sank, they had a party going on with their own music and dancing. No doubt a few first-class passengers would have been watching from the decks above. White Star was very proud of these high-tech electric cranes. They were used to load the possessions of the world's richest people.
Okay, I think that we should go up.
Totally careful.
Oh boy. It's great.
I'm gonna pump some ballast. You got 3 decks to clear ahead. This is J.P. Morgan's private suite. It was the largest on the ship and even had a private promenade deck. Over on the right is where the wheelhouse and the bridge would have been. Directly ahead by the ventilator shaft is the collapsed bulkhead of Captain Smith's cabin. These windows looked into Captain Smith's private sitting room.
Finally, after 20 years in deep ocean, I was on the bridge of Titanic. I stopped submersible. There was the steering gear. The wooden ship's wheel was gone. From this very spot, the sailors tried to turn the Titanic away from the iceberg, but they failed.
I dedicate these flowers to very special passengers. Children of the Titanic, who never leave their dreams, like you and Miro. I've written a special song for the children of Titanic, Rolf.
Подарите цветы, не стесняйтесь, это молодость вашей души. Самый лучший букет выбирайте, но любые цветы хороши. Нежный запах чарующей розы, васильков и ромашек букет, и холодные гроздья мимозы, и подснежника теплый привет. Подарите цветы, не стесняйтесь, может, это подарок судьбе. Не раздумывайте, не сомневайтесь, подарите букетик себе.
Well, I had an enormous teddy bear. My father bought it for me the Christmas before we went away in the April. And it was almost as tall as myself. I loved this teddy bear, and I used to play with it on the deck with my father. And I wanted to go back for my teddy bear when he was carrying me out of the cabin to take me up to the boat deck, you know. I remember saying, I want my teddy bear, and he just didn't say anything, just continued to carry me. And when we got onto the deck, and he said, yes, they're going to launch the lifeboats, but it's only a precaution, you'll all be back on board for breakfast. When he put me in the lifeboat, and he leaned over and he said, now be a good girl, hold Mummy's hand. I did have an instinctive feeling then. I couldn't have said as a child what the feeling was, but I felt I wouldn't see him again. But it was a beautiful teddy bear. Never had another one. Never wanted another one.
This is one of the remaining boat davits. The Titanic only carried enough lifeboats for half her passengers and crew. In the early morning hours of April the 15th, 1912, 1,502 people were left aboard to die. The Titanic remains the worst shipwreck in history.
We're going to probably have a little bit rougher than normal launch tomorrow, but I'd say the recovery is going to be an e-coupon ride. I think recovery is going to be...
I think we should really... It might be a little more now, but it'd be better by the time we get back.
Yeah,
no, right. Better. Yeah, what is it ever get better? It better be better.
Altogether, we had 17 dives on Titanic. It was our most successful expedition. We collected some mud, some dead fish, and 3 small pieces of metal, which the scientists are already fighting over. It's the same story in every expedition.
Ultimately, it's the courage and passion of these deep ocean pioneers that will reveal the countless mysteries hidden beneath the 3/4 of the Earth's surface, still to be explored.
I still miss my father after 80 years. And I worry quite often about this obsession with technology. The lack of common sense. And I'm so afraid that if we are not careful and learn from the Titanic, that one day a disaster may occur, which will be much greater. There may well be no lifeboats for anyone.